Let's proceed with your next witness. Playing for us?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Tyler, I want to call your next witness.
The defense calls Tracy Coleman. Tracy Coleman.
And you want to stand before him? You solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth to the best of your knowledge? Yes. Please be seated.
Good afternoon. Can you introduce yourself to the jury, please?
My name is Tracy Coleman.
I'm going to ask you to speak up just a little bit, okay? I'm old and hard of hearing. Can you tell the jury where you live?
I live in Chesterton.
Are you married?
Yes, I am.
Kids?
Yes, I do.
How many kids do you have?
I have 3 kids.
And how old are they?
16, 13, and 10.
Have you testified in court before?
No, I have not.
Are you nervous? Are you familiar with the St. Louis Medical Center outpatient rehab clinic?
Yes, I am.
Can you tell the jury how you're familiar with that?
I was an employee there from 2005 to 2009.
When you worked there from 2005 to 2009, what position did you hold?
I was a physical therapist assistant.
Why did you leave the clinic?
I took another job for a more flexible schedule.
Why did you need a more flexible schedule?
My 3 children.
It's always the way, isn't it? Do you have any teaching responsibilities?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And where do you teach and what do you teach?
I'm currently employed at Ivy Tech.
What do you teach at Ivy Tech?
I help teach a modalities class.
Can you tell the jury what a modalities class is?
Modality class consists of anything you use like a hot pad, a cold pad, electric stimulation, there's therapeutic ultrasound, iontophoresis, any of those things we go over in my class.
Can you describe for the jury your education and training to become a physical therapy assistant?
I went to school at accredited physical therapist assistant school at Michiana College. From there, I passed that. I passed all the classes, obviously, and then I went and took a course for the state of Indiana.
So you have to be licensed.
I have to be licensed.
When did you get your license?
In the state of Indiana.
When?
When?
Yes.
2001.
Is that a license that you have to renew or recertify every so often?
You have to renew it every 2 years.
That require you to take another examination?
It does not, if your license is activated.
Okay. And your license here in Indiana?
Yes.
We've heard testimony that a physical therapy assistant essentially implements the treatment. Is that correct?
Correct.
Now, do you complain of Veronica Harris?
Yes, I do.
Can you tell the jury how you're familiar with her?
She was a patient of mine at St. Louis outpatient.
Do you recall over what period of time you treated her?
January of 2009 to August of 2009.
Was there a physical therapy assistant who treated Karanda after you?
Yes.
Do you know who that was?
Amber?
Is that Amber Kimber?
Correct.
Okay. When you were treating Mrs. Harris, were you aware of her prior surgery in Texas?
Yes.
Were you aware of the physical deficit she had following that surgery?
Yes.
Were you aware, let me ask you this, how were you aware of her impairments and deficits? What did you do to make yourself aware of that?
Through the eval and all the previous notes that were written.
It's the physical therapy record?
Correct.
Okay. And can you tell the jury what kind of deficits you were familiar with respect to Mrs. Harris?
She had a right foot drop. She had some muscle weakness in her right leg. Her endurance was low endurance. She had some gait deviations.
Okay. Your Honor, I'm going to ask that you activate the screen.
Yes, I certainly.
Go to page 46. The jury has looked at a number of records, so I'm going to try and breeze through these because they're probably all tired of looking at physical therapy records. We're going to look first at tab 7, page 46. Now, under your patient reports, first of all, do you have that record in front of you, ma'am?
Yes,
Okay. Who wrote that record?
I did.
And when was this record relative to when you started your treatment, Mrs. Harris?
This was our first treatment session together.
You wrote under patient reports. Patient reported she has a little anxiety because of having a new therapist. Is that correct?
Correct.
Do you recall this visit?
I do.
What do you recall about it?
Rhonda was crying a lot. She's a little at ease with having a new therapist.
How would you describe Mrs. Harris's level of confidence as a patient during the period of time that you treated her?
Low.
What did you have to do about that?
Provide some encouragement throughout the treatment.
Okay. Did she have low confidence throughout the period of time that you treated her? Well, Mrs. Harris was a patient at the clinic. Did she have a history of falling to home before you took over her care?
Yes.
Was that reflected in the physical therapy notes that you reviewed?
Yes.
Can you describe for the jury what kinds of treatment you provided to Mrs. Harris during the months that you treated her?
I provided some strengthening, gait training, some modalities for pain, modalities used to help increase the muscle strength.
Gait training would be walking.
Correct.
While you were treating Mrs. Harris, were you concerned that she might fall while walking?
Yes.
Was that true during the entire period of time that you treated her?
Yes.
When Mrs. Harris would do gait training as part of your therapy, were there precautions typically used?
Yes.
And can you describe for the jury what kinds of precautions were typically used?
Replacement of a gait belt, and I was always by her side.
Who would hold the gait belt?
I would.
Can you project, please, tab 7, page 69? Do you have that record in front of you, ma'am?
Yes,
Who wrote that note?
I did.
Was this based upon your observations during the time that you treated her?
Correct.
You write, among other things, patient demonstrates instability to right ankle while ambulating. Patient over-the-counter brace is supporting for drop foot, but is not supporting for inversion or eversion. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you write, patient tends to right heel on left foot while ambulating. Correct?
Yes.
Would you tell the jury what that language means in layman's terms?
Just means her brace that she was currently wearing at that time was not supporting her ankle from going side to side. It was always supporting it from up and down. And when she would walk, her right heel would hit her left heel.
Was this a normal gait?
For Karama?
Just a normal gait that
No.
you might all have. Would her gait pattern at that time put her at risk of fall?
Yes.
Are you concerned about a fall?
Yes.
Would you please project exhibit tab 7, page 91, please? Okay, do you see the portion where it says patient reports?
Yes,
Okay, you wrote patient reported she feel at home on Wednesday but is okay. Should that read fell?
correct.
So this is a note where you documented she had fallen during the course of, during the time of the therapy.
Yes.
Can you please project tab 7, page 103, please? All right. Further up in this note, I won't make John change this, but further up in the note you wrote, ambulation with large base quad cane 80 feet SDA times 2. See that?
Yes,
A little further down, you had patient had difficulty with second set of ambulation. Is that correct?
correct.
Can you tell the jury what that means? Patient had difficulties with second set of ambulation.
The second time of ambulating, she had struggled a little bit to complete that 80 feet.
Would that struggle be consistent with muscle weakness?
Yes,
Would it be consistent with the lack of endurance?
yes,
Would it put the patient at risk to fall?
yes.
Can you project, please, page 105? This is tab 7, 105 for the jury. Do you have that note in front of you, ma'am?
Yes,
Now, under the impression, you write, patient was able to ambulate for 5 minutes on treadmill with assistance for proper knee flexion and placement of right LEB, lower extremity.
correct.
Who wrote that note?
I did.
Can you tell the jury what it means with assistance for proper knee flexion and placement of right lower extremity?
It means she needed help to properly bend her right knee and place it properly in front of her.
So would that assistance be hands-on assistance?
Correct.
Who rendered that assistance?
I did.
Is that assistance that you would have rendered for the entire 5 minutes she was on the treadmill?
Yes.
Would you have been able to render that assistance by walking away from the treadmill?
No.
The jury has heard testimony in this case from the plaintiff's mother, Mrs. Garland, that when she was at a therapy session towards the end of May, beginning of June, Mrs. Harris was put on a treadmill and the therapist walked away and left her there. Would the end of May, beginning of June be the period of time that you would have been treating Mrs. Harris?
Yes.
So you would have been the therapist, is that correct?
Correct.
Did you ever leave Mrs. Harris unsupervised on a treadmill?
No.
Why not?
And she needed assistance to perform that.
I'm sorry?
exercise. She needed assistance to perform that exercise on the treadmill.
Now, was there a piece of equipment that Mrs. Harris was using at that time where you felt it was safe to put her on it and leave her for a few minutes?
Yes.
Can you tell the jury what that piece of equipment was?
It's called a new step.
What's a new step?
It is a machine that you sit in and you leave your arms and legs together.
Okay. So you're seated.
Correct.
Is on that record that you made from that date, is there documentation establishing that she used the new step?
Yes.
How long was she on the new step?
10 minutes.
Can you please project tab 7, page 112, please? Who wrote this note?
I did.
Was she on the treadmill that day?
Yes.
How long?
8 minutes?
Did she have assistance?
Yes.
What indicates that she had assistance?
It states treadmill 8 minutes with an assist.
Who would have given that assistance?
I would have.
Would you have been with her the entire time she was on the treadmill?
Yes.
Was she on the new step that day?
Yes.
How long?
10 minutes.
Okay, let's move on to your next note of June 8, 2009. This is page 117. Who wrote that note?
I did.
Was she on the treadmill that day?
Yes.
Was it with assistance?
Yes.
Who did the assistance?
I did.
Would you have been with her the entire time?
Correct.
Was she on the new step that day?
Yes.
How long?
For 10 minutes.
Now, you write that she's on the treadmill 6 minutes at 0.7 miles per hour. Is that correct?
Correct.
Can you give the jury some idea of how fast that is relative to the speed that a normal, healthy person would walk?
That's slower than a normal person.
And why did you set the speed 7.7 miles an hour?
Yes.
Why did you set it at that rate?
Because that's as fast as she can go.
Okay. Can you project, please, page 118? You have that note, ma'am?
Yes.
Who wrote that note?
I did.
And was Mrs. Harris on the treadmill that day?
Yes.
Was she on the treadmill with assistance?
Yes.
Who gave the assistance?
I did.
Would you have walked away from her on the treadmill that day?
No.
Was she on the new step that day?
Yes.
And how long was she on the new step?
10 minutes.
Would you have ever, under any circumstances, put Mrs. Harris on a treadmill and then walked away and left her?
No.
Why not?
Because it would not be safe.
All right, would you please project page 119? Let's see. Here's what I want. Now, in your patient reports, you write, well, first of all, is this your note?
Yes.
Are all these notes that we've been looking at that you wrote, are these all based upon your observations of the patient at the time?
Correct.
Okay. You wrote on this note, patient reports she had muscle cramping in right thigh and calf. You see that?
Yes.
Based on your experience, what's the clinical significance of muscle cramping in the thigh and the calf?
It can be due to dehydration or muscle fatigue.
Okay. Did Mrs. Harris have muscle fatigue on this day?
Yes.
Is muscle fatigue consistent with the right leg deficits that she had at this time?
Yes.
Did muscle fatigue put her at risk to fall?
Yes.
Okay, let's look at page 126. Do the patient report. Now you write, first of all, is this your note?
Yes.
Okay. And you write in the patient report reported she fell last Thursday, but is okay. Is that right?
Yes.
And in point of fact, I think the record reflects there's another note before this one documenting the fall. So we've got another fall here, is that right?
Yes.
It looks like you bumped her up a little bit in terms of speed on the treadmill. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And that's, she's at 1 mile an hour now?
Yes.
Okay, how does that compare to the speed of a normal gait?
That's still slow.
Okay. And we're now in July of 2009, is that correct?
Correct.
Can you project please tab 7, page 140? You're right here now, patient reported, well, first of all, I keep forgetting to ask you this. Is this your note?
Yes.
Okay. And we're now up to July 27th, is that correct?
Correct.
And you wrote, patient reported her knee is still bothering. Was she having problems with her knees?
Yes.
Can you tell the jury what they were?
She was having some pain in her knee.
Can you project the impression part? Highlight that, please. Now, you write in the impression, patient demonstrated genu valgus and high stepping gait on the right lower extremity while ambulating. Is that correct?
Correct.
Can you tell the jury what genu valgus is?
Genu valgus is when you are facing knee, your knee was touching.
And what does high stepping gait mean?
High stepping gait means you bring your leg up more than a normal person would wake up.
And what's the point of that?
So that her foot does not drag, her toes, her foot cannot drag the floor.
She got a foot drop, is that correct?
Correct.
Is this high stepping gait to overcompensate for the foot drop?
Correct.
How would you describe Mrs. Harris' gait pattern at this time?
Abnormal.
Was she at risk of fall because of this gait pattern?
Yes.
Were there times during your treatment of Mrs. Harris where you didn't do gait training because she had pain?
Yes.
Okay. And can you project tab 7 to page 137, please? What is the patient reported portion, please? Now, this is your note, correct?
Correct.
I don't remember to ask you that first. You write, patient reported her right leg was on fire last night from her hip to the inside of her foot. Do you see that?
Yes.
Can you tell the jury from your experience in training, what's the clinical significance of that observation?
She's having nerve pain.
So she's having pain as of this time, is that correct?
Correct.
And this is August 12 of 2009, is that correct?
Correct.
So in terms of the continuum where you were treating Mrs. Harris, where is this relative to when you finished with her?
This was towards my period treatment from it.
Now, while you were treating Mrs. Harris, did her gait improve?
It improved slightly, yes.
Did her endurance improve?
Yes.
Did she move from a walker to a quad cane?
Yes.
So she kind of bumped up a little bit in terms of the assistive device she was using. Is that correct?
Correct.
Would you please project tab 7, page 148? Okay. Among the exercises you document here is you document ambulation, free lap with pod cane. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. And then down in the impressions, you can switch some of that down. I'm going to forge ahead here. You write, patient tends to have increased forward trunk flexion while ambulating without assistive device. Is that correct?
Correct.
Now, let's go back to 3 laps here for a second. Do you recall, did Mrs. Harris have to stop and rest during those 3 laps?
No.
Okay. Was she supervised during those 3 laps?
Yes.
By whom?
Me.
When she was able to walk those 3 laps, did you still consider her to be at risk to fall?
Yes.
Now, if Mrs. Harris was able to walk 3 laps on, this is August 14th, is that correct?
Correct.
She could do that on August 14th. Does that mean she could do it the next day or 2 days later or even 2 weeks later?
No.
Did you tell the jury why not?
Because our conditions change day to day. As a normal person, you can have good days and bad days.
Are there factors that figure into how long a patient ambulates on any given day, particularly a patient with the deficits of Mrs. Harris had?
Yes.
What kinds of things figure into this?
The previous day, she reported her late, fatigued her late. It still could be fatigued the next day. If she didn't get good night's sleep. There's many factors, nutrition.
Okay. So, is it a fair statement to say that because she did it on this day doesn't mean she was out of the woods and able to do that consistently going forward? Now, I want to ask you about this increased forward trunk. Okay? Can you tell the jury what that means?
She tends to lean forward
Okay.
when she ambulates.
Now, that was when she was ambulating without an assistive device. Is that right?
Correct.
All right. So is it fair to say when she was trying to walk on her own, she was kind of perched forward this way?
Correct.
Okay. When she had an assistive device, did she have this forward trunk flexion?
No.
Why not?
Because the cane was helping her to ambulate.
So is she holding herself up essentially with the cane?
Correct.
During the time that you treated Mrs. Harris, did you ever have her walk laps around the track alone without precautions like a gait belt or contact guard assistance or standby assistance?
No.
When you walked with Mrs. Harris during therapy, did you typically walk with her on one side or the other?
Yes.
Which side did you walk on?
Her right.
Why?
The cane was on her left.
Okay. And which limb was diseased?
The right.
Did you ever tell Mrs. Harris something to the effect that when you come into therapy, start out by walking laps or go onto a bike and exercise?
No.
At the time that you turned Mrs. Harris' chair over to Amber Kimber, do you believe that she was capable of safely walking laps on the track without circulation?
No.
Can you pick over the drug? Okay. You've seen the rug in the picture?
Correct.
You see the rug here?
Yes.
Okay. You're familiar with the rug?
Yes.
We won't go through all that then. Did Mrs. Harris ever complain to you about the rug at that location at the entrance to the treatment area?
No.
Did she ever tell you that she was afraid of falling over that rug?
No.
The jury has heard testimony that she complained to you about that rug almost every time she had to walk over it. Do you dispute that?
Yes.
Do you think you'd remember that if that happened?
Yes.
If Mrs. Harris had complained to you about the rug, would you have documented that in some way?
Yes.
What would you have done?
I would document it in my daily notes and give it to my boss.
Now, she says you did complain to somebody higher up. Do you dispute that?
Yes.
At my request, did you review your therapy notes in this case?
Yes.
Did you find anything documenting that she complained to you about the rug?
No.
Do you have any recollection of ever going to your boss to inform him that she complained about your rug?
No.
He rug. Did you ever tell Mrs. Harris anything like, next time you come in, just go out there and start walking around on the track if I'm visiting another patient?
No.
If you had found Mrs. Harris walking laps on the track by herself during the period of time that you were treating her, what would you have done?
I would have stopped what I was doing to make sure that the patient that I was working with was safe and went and attended to her, or I would have gotten one of our techs to go by her side
And why would you do that?
for her safety.
Did you consider that to be unsafe?
Yes.
When you start an appointment with a patient, okay, do you typically do anything to make sure the therapy environment is safe?
We always look to see what's around, make sure everything's in proper order and safe.
Why do you do that?
Because you don't want your patient to get hurt, you don't want them to fall, you want them to be safe.
So, if you're dealing with a patient in gait training, do you eyeball obstacles on the track?
Yes.
Would you eyeball that rug?
Yes.
Do you ever recall seeing that rug with the corner flipped up?
No.
How about with the corner folded under?
No.
If you were to see a hazard on the premises that you thought was put patients at risk for their safety, what would you do about it?
I would have corrected the problem.
Would you put the instructions on that, please? Thank you, Mr. Sherman. I guess that's tab 1, page 7. Yeah. Tab 1, page 7. That's page 1. There you go. That's the one. Do you recognize that area?
Yes, I
Can you
do.
tell the jury what that area is?
That's the doorway into the treatment area.
So this
The
would
lobby.
be, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. What?
From the lobby.
And I was just about to say that. So this is from the lobby looking into the treatment area. Is that correct?
Correct.
And we can agree you see the rug that's at the heart of this, just beyond the door there.
Yes.
Do you see the sign on the door right there?
Yes.
Would you project the next one, please? Now, we're going to project a blow-up of that sign. Do you see that?
Yes.
Do you recognize that sign?
Yes.
During the period of time that you were treating Mrs. Harris, was that sign posted on the door as depicted in the prior photograph?
Yes.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
You recall it as you sit here?
Yes.
So, Mrs. Harris, is it accurate to say that Mrs. Harris would have had an opportunity to see that every time she went through the door?
So I object speculation on her part. Documents speak for itself.
Well,
The question is, would she have had an opportunity?
we know where it's at, so I'm going to sustain the objection.
Okay. Now, there are two doors there, is that correct?
Correct.
Was it customary in the course of day-to-day operations to have one of those doors closed?
No.
How? Can you go back to that photograph? It's tab 1, page 7. There we go. You see the door on the left?
Yes.
All right. Now, Mrs. Harris has testified that when she entered the gymnasium for her appointment on October 1, 2008, that left-hand door was closed. Do you ever recall that left-hand door being closed and the right one being open for any reason?
No.
Were those doors ever closed?
Yes.
What were the circumstances under which those doors were closed?
If the employees had an in-service or a meeting.
Okay. If you had an in-service or a meeting, which of those doors were closed? When you were working at St. Mary Medical Center during this period of time, were there people besides patients who would enter into the treatment area?
Yes.
What other persons besides patients would go in there?
Family members, caregivers, other employees from St. Mary's, housekeeping, delivered towels.
Okay. During the course of your therapy, did you ever have Mrs. Harris walk over that rug purposefully?
Yes.
Can you tell the jury why you did that?
I have patients, I have Quran, I walk over that to help her to be aware of her surroundings for when she's outside of her home, either in a store or other family members or a friend's house, so she can learn to walk over this properly and knows what to do.
Did you ever have Mrs. Harris walk over that rug during therapy without at least contact guard assistance or standby assistance?
No.
And if she had that contact guard assistance or standby assistance, who provided it?
Either.
Okay. Is it accurate to say that one of the objectives of her therapy was to make her independent? Is that right?
Yes.
So she could walk on her own?
Yes.
Would she be independent if she wasn't able to walk over a rug like that in public?
No.
Right. Ms. Glenn, I think Mr. Servin probably has some questions for you. Thank you.
Cross-examination, Mr. Servin.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Ms. Glenn. We've never met before. Your deposition wasn't taken in this case, correct?
Correct.
But I guess you spent some time with Mr. Tyler.
Yes.
Yes. And are you being compensated for your time?
Yes.
Because you don't work at the hospital anymore.
I do not.
It is important to be accurate in your note taking. Is that right?
Correct.
The reason is because not only for yourself but for somebody else who may see the patient in your absence.
Correct.
Correct. So you want to try to write down everything that you think is important.
Correct.
And I take it that's what the other physical or assistant physical therapist should do as well.
Correct.
After you left and Karanda stayed on and followed up with Ms. Amber Kimbrough, did you know that she got a new orthotic AFO?
I did.
Did she ever wear it with you as a physical therapist?
No.
Did you know that it was a custom-made one just for her?
Yes.
And that she was measured for it, and fitted for it, and fit inside of her shoe.
Correct.
Much more comfortable than the one that she got from the surgery, where she had her surgery in Houston. Correct? Or are you?
I don't know. I didn't treat her after she had the
Okay.
AFO, so I can't answer that question.
All right. So as a patient of yours, she never had her new custom-made AFO. We're clear on that point, right?
Correct.
Now, you talked about the visit on August 14th, which was on page 148. Do you have it in front of you?
Yes.
And I'm not going to put it up on the screen, but this is the one where she ambulated 3 laps with quad cane, right? And then that right?
Correct.
She walked around that track 3 times.
Correct.
And Mr. Tyler asked you, well, would she be able to do that again the next time? And you gave some reasons why. Well, maybe not. She might be tired or whatever. But I think the next time you saw her on page 150, and this may be the last time you saw her, was on August the 19th of 2009. So that was like 5 days later, right?
Correct.
And when she presented on that day, she said she was feeling better on this particular day than the day where she walked around 3 times. Correct?
Correct.
And she walked around 3 more times.
Correct.
Okay. So at least she was doing good then. I mean, none of this reasons you gave why she may not be able to do it again occurred on that visit.
At this treatment session, correct.
Right. As a matter of fact, it sounds like she was feeling better than she was in the treatment session before.
At this session, yes.
Okay. And then you saw her again on page 151 on August 21st, which would be 2 days later, right?
Correct.
And when you saw her on that day, she reported she was doing good today. So this is 2 days later after she'd gone around 3 times, and she's still doing good on this visit, which is almost like the last one.
Correct.
And then the impression says, patient ambulates with forward trunk flexation without using an assistive device. What does that mean?
That means we were in the parallel bars.
Okay.
She ambulated. without holding on. She had a forward trunk. She was leaning forward while she was ambulating.
Okay. So she did it all on her own, without a cane, without a walker, without a wheelchair.
Correct.
Now, you agree with me, don't you, that while she wasn't going to be running in any marathons, this lady who started out in October of 2008 to when you last saw her in August, I think it was 21st, 2009, that period of about 10, 11 months, she had made great progress, correct?
For corona, she had made great progress.
I mean, she came in a wheelchair when she started, just on a table where she was squeezing a ball with her legs. That's how it all began, right?
Correct.
And then most of the time that she came in, or perhaps all of the time that she came in when you were her therapist, she was wheeling herself in on a walker.
Correct.
The entire time that you worked for the defendant at the hospital, that this rug that's in front of us was in the same location that we see it on the photograph, which was tab 1, first picture, right?
Correct.
Why did you give Mr. Tyler the Facebook pages between you and Corona?
Because they asked me to. They asked if she had gotten hold of me. And I responded yes.
How come you didn't respond to Corona?
I believe I tried calling her.
You believe? What's your phone number?
I don't know.
And how did you try calling her?
Because it's on her Facebook.
When did you try calling her?
A few days after she sent that. In September.
Just one more point. I think Mr. Tyler went through a number of visits. Let's go to page 112. Okay, you with me?
Yes?
This is, he was going over some of these June visits where she was on the treadmill. And in this particular one, it says TM 8 min with min A. So 8 min is 8 minutes,
Correct.
right? And with min A, what does that mean?
That's minimum assist.
Minimum assistance?
Correct.
That's what you standing by her?
But that's what the assisting her.
That with a LakeCo?
On the treadmill?
Right.
Yes.
How come it doesn't say that?
Because it's standard to put it in gait training, to put a gait belt on your patient.
Okay. Again, you didn't put that in the note or in any of the other notes for the treadmill. I didn't see gate belt on any of that.
No, it is not.
You said that you, at times, had her walking from the floor to the rug. That was on the track. Because, what was it again?
It helps them to learn to adapt to different environments.
Right.
Let's say you go out to a store or to your doctor's office,
Okay.
and there's a little lip.
Yeah.
They need to learn to how to negotiate, to be able to go through that, over that, and not fall.
Okay. Because those kind of things present a danger
For,
in her condition.
correct.
That's all I have.
Here's just a brief follow-up, Are you under subpoena to be here today?
I am.
Sound like you're really thrilled about that. Who put you under subpoena to be here?
To be honest, I believe you, I believe you did.
Okay. Did you get a witness fee check?
I did.
Can you tell the jury the great amount of sum of that witness fee check?
$45?
Okay. Have I otherwise agreed to compensate you for your time here today?
No.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Servant, anything?
No other questions, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, just remain seated. Jury may have some questions for you.